Welcome everyone to another episode of Avo Pod, bridging the gap between baby boomers and Gen Z. I'm Ken Jenkins,
and I'm Mike Hubbard,
and we're both 50 something. Have you had a birthday recently?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so we're both still 50 something.
Still 50 something.
And between the both of us, I think we know a little something.
A little bit of something.
Hopefully, some of that stuff will rub off on you.
Right.
The good part, not the bad part. Well, we're happy today to invite to our show a very intelligent, a very entrepreneurial young man, Justin Powell. He is a young entrepreneur from Dallas who owns his own business called Powerful Lion. I like that name, Powerful Lion. There's no doubt about what's coming at you when you hear Powerful Lion.
It's a strong name.
It's a strong name. It's a strong name. He calls himself a biohacker, where he specializes in helping women and men better understand the key ingredients to naturally keeping their bodies fit through a holistic approach and healthy lifestyle. Justin Powell, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I do appreciate it for bringing me on.
Great. Now, just so we can set the playing field here, I've known Justin, you and I both, Mike, have known Justin since, don't be ashamed, young fella, since he was in diapers.
Yeah.
And he's grown into a phenomenal young man, and he's, just going to do extraordinary things in his life, and he's into the health and wellness and just being fit. But you have to promise me one thing, is just you are not taking your shirt off during this show, right?
For sure, I would not do that.
No flexing, unless it helps our ratings.
And all you 50-some-year-old women, don't be trying to contact the brother.
Powerful cougars.
Right.
Powerful lion.
He too young for y'all, okay?
That's great. Well, again, welcome, Justin. And we want to, like I said before, we want to create an environment where we can bridge the gap between us old fogies and the younger generation. So we wanted to invite you to the show and just kind of pick your brain and see, where you are, what's going on, what do you think about some things that are going on. And we have to jump in right away to something that's top of mind, Mike. We just need to pinch our nose and jump in on this.
Let's do it.
Sha'Carri Richardson.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I can't wait. Because I have my 50-some-year-old thoughts and opinions about it.
Right.
I talked a little bit with my son about it.
Right.
But I want to hear what Justin thinks about that whole situation.
Right. So for anyone who's been on another planet, right, Sha'Carri Richardson is a track star from LSU. Go Tigers! My daughter graduated from LSU, so I got to throw that in there.
And that's Geaux.
Geaux.
Never understood that.
I spelled it that way after a few drinks anyway. So.
Right.
So Sha'Carri Richardson is a track star getting ready to go to the Olympics, had a positive marijuana test, and is now not going to be able to go to the Olympics. Not in the 100, which is her specialty, or the 400, which we were hoping she at least would be able to participate in. And the reason is she had that positive marijuana drug test. Now, there's a lot of differences of opinion, Justin, between our age group and the younger generations about marijuana use, medicinal use. You're in the fitness business. What are your thoughts around just overall the use of marijuana as a medicinal treatment, or to help with various ailments like anxiety or just different things? What's your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, it's legal in a couple different states, and I think people are starting to realize it's not like a bad drug, kind of like alcohol. But my thoughts on it are, it kind of does sometimes it may slow you down. Some people may kind of react different to it, but I feel like there's a place and time for everything. I mean, I don't think that no one in their life has not smoked marijuana, but
I've never smoked marijuana.
Kind of
never. No.
I'm not commenting.
Never partook in the ill weed.
I'm not gonna. You're not getting me on video commenting about that.
I'm not gonna admit it in front of this young brother who I kind of grew up with me.
What is marijuana?
What is that?
What is that?
Marijucci.
I mean,
Anyway,
it's
go ahead, Justin.
yeah, no, I guess marijuana is a substance that influences your mood, your behavior. I mean, if you're an athlete and whatnot, I feel like it kind of can slow you down because I mean, there is stuff out there nowadays that's like CBD,
Right.
which is more for like medical, support and whatnot. But I mean, marijuana, like I said, it is legal in some places. In Texas, it's not. So therefore, it's illegal. So, but like I said, I know people in our generation. There are a lot of people who are open to it. But at the end of the day, it is a substance that it does have ramifications if you do it. And at the end of the day, you got to understand ramifications. So I guess my thoughts about it is there's a time and place for everything, but it will kind of alter your thoughts, your decision making processes if you're not in the right state of mind. So
Right. So I guess
that's really
as an athletic trainer, fitness person, I'm thinking, how does marijuana help you? I'm thinking it would slow her down, right? Unless you put some pretzels at the finish line, and she got the munchies, right? But but otherwise, how could it help you be faster? It would slow you down, I would think.
I was curious about that too.
Right.
So I did a little research.
Okay. Go with it.
And I found an article, and the reasoning behind this drug being banned, from what I've read,
Okay.
is not because it's illegal or because it's, a drug, but because it does help in recovery.
I've heard that.
So
Yeah.
if you can recover faster than another athlete, that can be perceived as an advantage. So, and the other part, from what I read, there are different levels that you have to test at before you are failing a test.
Right.
So there's a lot of caveats to this situation that the general public, I don't think we understand or know. It's not as simple as her smoking weed.
Because we all know there are different levels to the weed, right?
Right.
You've got the regular, off the plant weed. You got the angel dust. You got the not that I know. This is what I read
know
too.
a lot about
research,
weed.
bro.
Wow.
Research.
Wow.
That's what I do, right?
I'm about to give you a random drug test after the show.
I'm gonna have to ask Justin for a vial of pee,
Right.
so I don't fail it.
But
I do not smoke. We do not advocate the use of illegal
don't.
drugs. Okay,
But,
so everyone knows that.
Justin, here's my take. Number one, let me be clear, very clear out there, everybody. I personally don't have a problem with people who smoke weed. Number one.
Unless they drop those roaches and burn my carpet on my
Right.
upholstery or something.
Right.
Yeah, then we have a problem.
Number two, I think we're at the point in society it should be legal. I just don't think there's much difference between that and alcohol.
Yeah.
And I really don't have a problem with Sha'Carri. Really, I don't. I'm very sympathetic towards her. I think she made a terrible decision.
Right. Who hasn't done that at 21?
We haven't,
Right. Yeah.
But when you look at what she had to gain and what she had to lose,
Where
a
are
horrible
people?
decision.
Where are her people?
I know, where are her people?
Guidance.
I haven't seen her with anybody yet.
Did you catch that that little clip where she was coming out of an airport and some reporter or some dude just like ran up on her? And she's like, "How did you know where I was? How did you know it was me?" He's like, "Well, you got Sha'Carri
your
on your
name
shoe.
on your shoes."
You got your name on your shoe." But still, I'm like, where are her people?
I don't know. That's concerning,
Yeah.
But then my deal with this whole situation is not her, is how the community has responded to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now we want to change the rules. Now we want to, Now, Gail Devers, I saw her on an interview. She's like, listen, we are track athletes. This is the governing body for track and field.
Right.
The rules are clear. It wasn't a random drug test.
Right.
She knew she's going to be tested. she chose to smoke or ingest something. So, like I said, my issue is with the community. Because here's all these people I'm here, and I got friends who have kids, and they're like, oh, everybody makes mistakes, and oh, I feel sorry for her. But I know for a fact if this was their kid, they would be roasting their kid
They'd be on punishment.
right,
Be on timeout.
for doing something like this and throwing away this opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's my stance.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Justin. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, what I agree with is the fact that I think it's a lesson that she had to kind of learn the hard way. Because like I said, everything is about choices and decisions you make. So she was aware of the consequences, and she did go out to press and she owned up to it, right? And it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I gotta look at the learning experience. And I think that people in our community should be looking at the experience behind it, like the decisions that you make in your life. That's you're gonna have to deal with it at the end of the day. So it's nothing for me to say about it. It's just that's her decision, and I hope that people can definitely take the learning lesson from it, knowing how to move forward in their life.
That's great to hear this young man talk about the lessons we learn in life,
Right.
the learning experience. I'm impressed.
Right.
I'm impressed, Justin.
Right. And so, yeah, that's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think, though, there's probably going to be some changes with that rule.
I'm hoping there is because I want my stock to go up.
And I told you
Selfish.
what she should cash in on this
Yes.
and become a spokesperson for some cannabis.
Shikari weed.
Right.
You want to be fast?
Well, I don't
Get
know
a
about
blast.
that. It might not make you
You want to
fast.
be woke? Take a toke.
Oh, Lord. But she might as well,
I get what you're saying. I don't know if that's what the right
in the states where it's legal.
in the states where it's legal.
Right.
But that's interesting though because you have these, like Justin said, you have these states where it's legal, right? But then you have an international governing body,
Right.
right, over an event that's international,
Right.
right? So while she might not have been violating the law in Colorado,
Right.
while she was signing the Nike endorsement deal saying puff puff pass,
Right.
she basically violated this international policy. So
Yeah.
it is the governing body, and it's like going to work at a company, and they're saying you can't come to work nude,
Right.
and you say, well, no, I'm a free walker or baller or whatever you want to talk about. You gotta. My point is, you gotta go by you
gotta follow the
policies.
rules.
You gotta follow the rules.
Because even within those states where it's legal,
Mm-hmm.
those businesses within that state don't have to allow their employees to smoke it.
Yeah,
And I know this firsthand. I had a close family member,
a close family member.
and I'm not going to name names.
Yeah. I have a friend. I'm just asking for a friend.
Right. That was in that state for a little while, and it's legal there, but the company that they work for, they didn't condone it.
They didn't condone it.
Yeah. So,
But that's a good question though. The rules, right? Our generation, we have been taught to follow rules. There are processes, there are things that are put in place for us to follow rules. And I think we've got a guest wanting to join us. I think we have, is that someone trying to join?
I think so.
That is we have a special guest who's just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Hampton. Thank you for being able to join us, Bobby.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Hey.
I'm doing good.
All right. Just so you know, you're not going to see us, right? So just talking to your camera like if we're there.
Okay.
And we thank you for joining us. We were just talking about Sha'Carri Richardson.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. And we were talking about, not just giving our opinions on marijuana use, where it's legal, where it's not legal. And we have on the line with us Justin Powell, who's a young entrepreneur who's into wholeness and wellness and fitness from a holistic perspective. So we want to always have a young person's perspective on the things that we talk about, because our whole purpose of this show is to bridge the gap and understand. So I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and introduce Bobby, because we're blessed to have her join us. Bobby is a 6th and 7th grade science teacher in Houston. Before her teaching career, she studied at Emory University, majoring in African American Studies and Human Health, and received her master's from Harvard University's Graduate School of Education. So you know what that means, Mike?
What does that mean?
She's smart.
She's smart.
Our intelligence quotient has gone up right
Tremendously.
now, exponentially right now. Bobby is committed to eradicating educational inequities for students and ensuring Black and brown students get the same resources they need. Bobby Hampton, thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. So we're going to just continue with discussion. Like I said, we were talking about Sha'Carri Richardson, and we were getting ready to talk about rules, right? Our generation grew up with rules. That's we were taught, go to school, get a
Right.
degree, apply for a job, get a job, work 9 to 5, punch in and out, follow these rules.
Right.
And let's starting with you, Bobby. Do you think the younger generations are less inclined to follow rules, and just kind of stay within their lines, or is it a good thing, bad thing? We don't know. Are the younger generations just more inclined to go outside the box, and is that positive for us?
Okay. So the first part, they're definitely more inclined to kind of push boundaries, kind of go their own way, their own lane. A lot of them know kind of the trajectory you talked about, go to school, high school, college, here we go. But a lot of them are finding new and very intriguing ways to kind of get some of those same goals accomplished that we thought could only happen with a college degree, or kind of only with those doors that are attached. I think that it has its pluses and minuses. On the one hand side, it allows for more, like marginalized groups to have opportunities to be able to do so, to do the things that they want to do. But at the same time, sometimes it can be challenging for students to kind of see people go their own way, and then they try it and it doesn't work out the same way. And so what are they left with kind of as a backup plan when they didn't get that college degree or they didn't do education? So I kind of see the pluses and minuses to kind of being outside of the box and really kind of bridging their own way.
What do you think, Justin, about rules, following rules, and how they apply to younger generation? Or are you just a rule guy, or are you an outside the box thinker as well?
I mean, I guess when it comes to the law, when it comes to you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it depends on what the rules that are being placed upon me. Because I think outside the box. I'm an entrepreneur, but I also, I went to Howard University. I got my degree in electrical engineering.
HU.
HU, Howard. Right?
Wait. If I say HU, you're supposed to do what? Thank you. I was doubting for a minute whether he went to. All right.
You know your people gonna get on you out there.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Hey. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. To answer your question, like, it kind of depends on the rules. Like, the rule was, if she smokes marijuana and she gets tested positive, she can't go to the Olympics. And that's the opportunity that she was trying to pursue. So. But if it's a rule that it's not really gonna affect me, or there's no law behind it, and there's no, like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like when we're growing up as kids, there's a lot of rules put upon us that we don't really, understand. So, it kind of depends on what you want in life. I like to think outside the box, but at the same time, I know that, for everything that is placed upon me, like, if it's a law, there's just some stuff that you can't get around.
Right.
But I think that you should have an outside the box, mentality. If you are, like someone like myself, who's an entrepreneur, who's always trying to find creative solutions, and that's my background in engineering, is to always find a solution. So, rules are broken sometimes to be successful. Ooh. But you got to understand also the consequences for every rule that's broken. So, it's all about perspective.
Forgive me, and I'll have to. I ain't turning in my black card. Is Emory an HBC, Bobby?
Oh my God!
It's why for for sure. PWI.
Is it PWI? Okay. Okay. I just wanted to be sure because I was getting ready
It's okay.
to shout out that we repping.
We won't hold that
HBCUs here.
against
No, that's okay. That's okay.
That's all right.
But interesting though, sometimes rules need to be broken to achieve success. What do you think?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I see. So let me ask Bobby this: do you see there's a distinction, Bobby, between, it's okay, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, Justin, but I'm just kind of extrapolating from what you said. It may be okay to break the rules as long as we're not violating the law.
I would agree with that statement for sure.
You would agree with that
And if
statement?
you think about, you said what?
No, I'm just repeating it. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. And just think about, so there's so many unspoken rules in life, especially in kind of Black American culture. And if you want to get certain things done, you definitely have to finesse and kind of move around on the lines on some things. Of course, in context of not breaking the law. But yeah, I definitely agree with that statement.
That's interesting.
That is interesting, and especially for Bobby, for you as an educator, a young up and coming educator, will you carry that philosophy over into your interactions with students?
For sure. I mean, right now, you guys see in Texas, this critical race theory, they're banning everything. We're not supposed to be talking about white privilege, all these things in all these states across, especially in the South. And I'm going to be talking about it. My kids need to know. We're going to be talking about Black scientists. We're going to be talking about some of the struggles we go through in and outside of Black History Month, Latinx folks, all kinds of stuff. So I definitely take that to my classroom and kind of model that for students, because even in my time at Emory, in my last year teaching, I pushed the boundaries, pushed the lines all the time. So for sure.
We just talked about that Latinx.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new. I guess it's a newer term to me, as an old fogey.
I've heard it.
Hearing Latinx, I'm like, what are we insulting people by calling them Latino now? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know.
It's not necessarily insulting, but it's just being more gender inclusive to that community, because Latino and Latina are feminine and masculine, and if we're moving into this non-binary space, you don't want to presume someone's gender, and so that's kind of moving into that space.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that went right by me.
Okay.
So I know it's going to sound funny. So is there a difference between Mexicana and Mexicano?
I think so. I'm not all the way
I don't know if there was an answer to that one. So just so you guys know, right, we're both 50-something, and especially me, not so much Mike. Mike is more straight-laced, more to the
on
point.
camera, yeah.
Yeah. See, he got a nice collared shirt on today, and he looked good, head shaved. But anyway, I tend to drift off the path a lot and ask questions, that in my brain make sense, but may not always make sense outside of my brain.
We are trying to learn from you guys. So
Absolutely.
We take every opportunity we can
to
learn from the younger generations. But here's another question I have for you guys. The community has kind of turned the Sha'Carri situation into a racial situation and made it about her. She's Black, what do you guys and your peers, do you guys think that this has anything to do with race? Or is it simply about somebody breaking a rule and now paying the consequences?
Go ahead, Justin.
I mean, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really watch the news that much because it's just a lot of gossip here. She thinks this, he thinks this. I mean, I have my own mind, I have my own thoughts. Like I said, just looking at it from a law perspective, she messed up her opportunity because she just didn't understand the consequences and she went with that. But at the end of the day, I don't really look into it because it's just the news kind of just spreading stuff and everybody has their own opinion about things. I mean, for me as an entrepreneur, my job is to help people, right? My job is to help people learn from their experience. I mean, from their lessons and look at the ultimate, like lesson that's learned from it. So for me, I don't even really kind of even get into that type of stuff because it is what it is at this point. But I mean, what is our community going to learn from it? You know, are we going to let opportunities go away from us? And I mean, I think that's a question that I mean anybody should ask themselves. You know, what decisions am I making? It's not about what the news is saying. It's not about what people's opinions are. It's about staying in your lane and doing the right thing and trying to help people out at the end of the day.
So from a high level perspective for you, it's not really about race. It's about making bad decisions.
I mean, it's not saying about making. It's about understanding the decision that you're going to make and understanding the consequences for every decision that you make. I mean, at the end of the day, the choice is yours. But you got to understand there's always, for every type of decision you make, there could be a consequence if you're violating certain types of, social taboos and whatnot. So for me, it's not my point to try to point the finger at this and try to come up with all this stuff. It's like I said, for me, I want to stay focused and make a change on people's lives around me.
Right.
And I think there's a bigger lesson behind it all. It's, stop trying to look and see what everyone else thinks. I mean, everyone has their own opinion. That's my thoughts behind it.
So, Bobby, what do you think is the backlash and all the things that have been reported regarding Sha'Carri Richardson? Do you think there's a racial component to it?
I definitely think that there's a racial component to it. Just being a Black woman, one, in the public eye in America is something, is an added layer. The complexities that we have and kind of the things that we face on the kind of out front. And I definitely think that has something to do with, one, the fact that we even kind of this big hoorah circus around Sha'Carri, and then also our community as a Black community's response to it, and also like other communities' response to it. If we reflect and kind of think on different athletes who've had scandals over the years, whether it be marijuana, whether it be all these other things that athletes do, it's very easy to see the distinctions when it's a Black woman, when you see a Sha'Carri, when you see Serena Williams and how they talk about her body being very masculine. Like, you see the very complexities and how we always get it worse than the other groups. And I definitely think that's happening here in this time, especially with Sha'Carri, and just knowing even her backstory and kind of her explaining and the story around it. You can definitely see like the racialized undertones when folks are talking about it.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And Justin sounds like a young conservative in the making.
You Republican?
I wouldn't say conservative. I'm an entrepreneur, right? I just understand that, that for every choice.
Justin's about his business.
He about that dollar
right?
bill.
He about them bills.
Right? I mean, I'm totally, like pro, like Black, but we understand what it's like being African American. We understand, and so we know that there's certain things sometimes that can get in the way. And like I said, you got to understand your situation. Like, you got to understand what's going on. So you got to look at history. I mean, history repeats itself. I don't think we're, kind of like, I wouldn't say I'm conservative. I look at stuff and I really try to, make a decision at the end of the day.
I wasn't saying that to be negative because I'm kind of conservative leaning myself.
Yeah, Mike.
I was complimenting you, brother.
Mike has a good friend of that we may invite to the show.
Right or wrong.
What was that?
I don't think it's right or wrong. I just think that it's a lesson that people should learn from.
Right.
That's the main thing I'm trying to tell you.
No, there's nothing wrong with being conservative. Mike, I was saying Mike has a good friend that we're going to invite to the show at some point.
Right.
Who has a very conservative point of view on things.
Yes.
But let me ask you this, Bobby. Let me ask you this: how can our generation, and you have a phenomenal mom, Carol Hampton, who we've had on the show.
Yes.
Crack cupcakes. That's all I remember. That's an inside joke, Bobby. You may not know that. So your perspective may be a little different about the involvement and maybe the ways that that your mom has helped you and supported you so forth throughout life because she's an exceptional person. But in general, what can folks our age, baby boomers, do to better understand your generation and the younger generations to come?
For sure, being in a posture of like, obviously we can have wisdom from you guys, but also a posture of like listening and learning. There are so many people our age who are writing, who are making videos, who are on Instagram, on TikTok, anything you could possibly think of. There's a forum where Black people my age, a little younger, are talking about issues that we care about, how to help us, what we need from you guys. And so just one, like being open and listening to the folks around you, especially the folks who you're really close with. So, you know, like your family, and all the folks kind of around you can really help start to like transform, and kind of even thinking with some of the conversations like over the years coming back home every semester from college, me and my mom's conversations and kind of sharing with her what I was learning about gender inclusivity and all those different things along the way can definitely help. And also just being willing to learn, because I think that's another piece of it. Like folks will listen to you up and down talk about things, but a lot of people are not ready to like move their stake in the ground with things that they've been knowing for 30, 40, 50 years. And like we're constantly changing and evolving. So being open to that as well is also will be a great help, which I know is hard because when you've been doing things for a long time, you kind of get in it. And I know that that can be challenging for people. But that's just where we are in the world, and you gotta just gotta get hip to it.
That's a better way of calling.
She said we old.
We old and stubborn.
We old.
Right. That's what she really meant to say.
Set in our ways.
But that's okay because, I'm listening to you, Bobby, and I'm kind of going down memory lane here. Well, not even so much memory. It's just
It's a long lane.
And half of it.
That's like a highway.
Half of it I don't remember. So, but the recent stuff a couple of days ago, I still remember. I have these conversations with my youngest daughter all the time, right? Because she went away to college, the young girl that that I knew, that I helped raise, and she came back this woman, right, with all these different opinions and all of these different ways in which she communicates with me, and like you said, Bobby, understanding, right, inclusivity, understanding different things that for us, Mike, we're like, get out of here with that. I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
No, do it this way, or my way to highway.
Right.
Right. Justin, what do you think? Are there some things that we can better do to help your generation and the younger generations?
I mean, just honestly being a mentor. I mean, I feel like, like right now, it seems like you guys are doing a great job. I mean, you guys have a podcast, right?
Right.
Are you talking about us?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, young brother.
I mean,
the check will be in the mail.
I was just saying, you guys are like saying I'm really conservative. I'm like, well, right now, like what you guys are doing is actually cutting edge. So I think you guys are trying to transition to understanding this more, right? But I think it's more like kind of like she said, having understanding. But everybody has different goals in their life, right? I'm not going to come to my mom for advice when it comes to having a fitness business. I'm going to go find that person who can mentor me, who's already been through the ropes. So instead of trying to force people's views on people, it's kind of like she said, having an understanding that, not everybody wants to follow your footpath. It's kind of understanding like, hey, like, what do you want in life, right? It's just asking those questions to kind of understand, is this a good fit? Like, is it a good fit in general? So I think it's just getting a better understanding as well. Understanding that, hey, you got choices at the end of the day that you want to make. I'm here if you want to learn from me. If you don't want to learn from me, I respect your decision. But that's kind of how I look at it. I think you guys are doing a great job on just understanding our society by already making this, jump. And then it's kind of like, hey, just keep on getting better understanding and learning from that type of, mentor that you want to learn from. I think that's the best way to try to bridge the gap.
Right. So we read you guys' bios, but we know that they don't even come close to capturing everything, all of the phenomenal things you guys are doing. And one of the misconceptions that we as 50 somethings tend to have is young folk don't want to work, they don't want to do anything, they just want to kick it,
Play video games.
Right. So can both of you guys just kind of talk briefly about all the things you're doing and, your plans for the future and your business ideas and et cetera? So Bobby, can you start out?
Yeah, I can start out. So I'm currently, my full-time job is teaching. I also do private consulting and tutoring, so test really K through 12, but really around test prep and helping students in college, so biology kind of sciences. So that's like my side hustle. I always gotta have multiple streams of income. And then kind of looking towards the future, I'm definitely going back to school to get my PhD. I'm in the process of kind of writing my first book from some of the research I did in undergrad. So that's kind of what's coming down the pipeline. Who knows when it'll be done. But yeah, definitely going back to school and just working in education, really focusing on Black girls and their schooling experience in the U.S.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
Absolutely wonderful.
I know Carol Hampton is out there smiling ear to ear.
She's
right
smiling
about now.
ear to ear, hopefully whipping up a batch of those crack cupcakes.
Oh, Lord.
And so,
Justin, can you help him get off the crack cupcakes?
so Bobby, just so you know, so the story, it was from Jamila, my oldest daughter, her sweet 16 birthday. I don't know if you remember that. Justin, you were there. You were there, Jamila's sweet 16 birthday, and your mom in the event planning and catering business had these cupcakes that were just so addictive. I think I ran away, hid in the corner somewhere, and stuffed them all in my mouth. Anyway, that's the crack cupcakes.
Yeah,
All right.
gotcha. Thanks.
So, but Justin, tell us about some of the things that you're doing, some of the ways that you're trying to, work in your community and better yourself, things like that.
Yeah, I still do work for corporate America, and it kind of brings me back to following the rules, right? I'm a business consultant. I work with business owners all in the Dallas area. I get them set up for human capital management and whatnot. And I pretty much work with business owners directly. That's my 9 to 5, right? But I also have a rental car business where I use Turo, which is it's a platform and it's like peer to peer. So it's an asset-based business where I have about 4 cars now. They're all luxury vehicles. So I have a stream of income coming from that. And then I have my online business. That's really my baby. That's more my passion. I have a website. It's called powerfullinehq.com. It pretty much helps women, look more, to the point where they're more confident now through my 12-week program. So it's pretty much a home and wellness program. It's all online. You can pretty much log in, track your, nutrition, track your workouts, get an energy tick video every day. And so I pretty much help women when it comes to that. It's all automated. It's all streamlined. So I have about 3 different things I'm doing right now. Still working for corporate America, but it's just a little empire I'm trying to build. So
empire.
Yeah.
I'm giddy. I'm excited. You got Bobby over here talking about streams of income.
Right.
Justin's over here talking about streams of income.
Right.
I don't think I even thought about streams of income until I was well out of college and down the road, having worked for 4 or 5 different companies, realizing that, and probably more so during this pandemic, realizing that, we got to have multiple streams of income.
And what's even cooler, they're both doing things that impact people.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
It's not just about them making a lot of money.
Money's good though.
Money's not bad.
It's not bad.
Make the money.
Make that
But if you
money.
can help people too,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
And Kevin Walker, our cultural strategist, he kind of talked about the younger generation
right.
and how they're really about community and all of that. So that's phenomenal. So neither one of you guys are getting much sleep, I can tell, with all the stuff you're doing.
Definitely not.
It's
Definitely
great though. I mean, it's empowering and exciting to us, Justin and Bobby, that we hear these things come out of our young folk.
Right.
You know, I'm not just biased when I talk about my daughters. Mike's just not biased when he talks about his sons. But to hear other folk come on, other young people come on and just talk positive, talk about understanding lessons in life, talk about giving back. I mean, I guess our generation's doing something right.
They're way more mature than we were at their
Extremely.
age
Extremely.
because we weren't even on that level of thinking.
No. No.
So, but I got a couple of more questions for you guys. We've asked young people about politics and the church. We've got some really interesting answers. We know both you guys' families are church going people. But what we've discovered is your generation, the church is not necessarily the place that you run to, when you're in crisis or
Right.
in time of need.
And that's not our opinion. Those are the things that we've heard through the conversations we've had. So
Right.
we just want to see if, is that something that's congruent with how you're thinking? Bobby?
For sure, yes. I think it's very congruent. I actually saw a tweet not too long ago, and it was saying that like millennials and their relationship to the church, a lot of us were turned off by church because we didn't see it. We saw it transforming our parents and grandparents' public life, but not their private life. So when we got home, you were breaking all the commandments, you were doing whatever you wanted to do, but you went to church on Sunday morning and was talking and praising and doing all this hoopla, but nothing changed the other 6 days.
Ouch.
And so for a lot of us,
Ouch.
we were well, what's the point? And so some of us, many of us, took a break or completely like kind of divorced ourselves from church. And now personally, and a lot of my friends are like making our way back and really figuring out what does this relationship look like for us on a personal level, and then how do we kind of move forward with that. And then you can kind of see, and even just like the like Maverick City worship and like these worship groups that are coming out in these churches that are meeting in school buildings and old movie theaters and like not in the traditional realms. You kind of see that really, really popular with folks our age and in this millennial Gen Z kind of group. And so I'm definitely kind of seeing that on my end.
Wow.
I feel like a bad parent now.
Oh my God.
I'm a bad dad. Justin, what do you think? What are some of the things that you've experienced and or seen in how the church is either continuing to be involved or continuing to grow away from our younger people?
Gosh, man, this is such a controversial topic.
That's our goal. Our goal is to be controversial.
Right.
I see, right? I mean, really, to be honest with you, I mean, I like look like how she just explained it, like the perspective, like I see that as well. To be honest with you, it's like our generation is kind of, more so kind of moving away from it. Is like just kind of moving away from it in a way. More so, I would say, because I grew up in the church, and then I feel like now it's just there's still people who go to the church, still people who are there every Sunday, but then there's also people who kind of went away from it. So, I mean, it's kind of a touchy subject.
Touch it. Go ahead.
I don't like talking about religion like this, broadcasting. But I mean, I do agree with Bobby on just kind of what's been kind of going on in a way. So, I don't really have that much. I don't have that much.
That's okay. That's okay.
So do you guys think, both of you guys, of your educational journey, you've had some great experiences. Mm-hmm. How much has going off and to these schools as you guys went to shaped, your opinions about religion and the church and all of that?
For me, it definitely transformed kind of everything that I thought about church or knew about Christianity. Because when you're around people who are, all types of religions, don't have a religion, don't, just are here like on vibes only, like you just see so much of a spectrum with people. One, you really start to understand your own relationship. And for me, I was a stronger believer after going to college than I was before, because when people are asking you questions, when you're having conversations, you really have to be like, like, is this really what I'm down for? Am I really like about this Bible thing? Like,
Hmm.
seriously. And so I think that really helped me. And it also gave me just better like tolerance and understanding for other religions, because I think that other religions do a great job about giving us some benefit of the doubt on what Christianity is and explaining it to their own believers. But I felt like I didn't have much like knowing about Islam or knowing about people who practice Buddhism, like all these other religions. I feel like I never heard it. Like, it was like, that's the devil. That's all you need to know. And
Mm.
so I feel like I very much like understand and appreciate having conversations and learning from some of my classmates about their religions, and just kind of about how we all, like, are existing together here on this planet. So
Wow. That's true, because I can almost go back to I can go back to my younger days where anything outside of Christianity was the devil. No, that's the
But
truth, right?
you was with the disciples, right? No, I was just kidding.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
You knew him personally, right?
Yeah, we hung out. We smoked a blunt now and then.
You was like on the mountain when he made the fish and loaves and all that.
He stayed up there on that mountain so long.
Dude,
we were
was
ready
the
to work
fish
out.
good? Was it fried?
No,
Was it blackened? Tilapia? What was it?
Tilapia didn't exist back then. We didn't invent tilapia until 1996
Okay.
when they brought those two cells together and
Okay.
created this fish now that
Right.
doesn't really exist in the wild, but we buy it like crazy at Walmart
I'm sorry,
because
man.
it's cheap.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
That's all right, man.
I couldn't help it.
That's all right. Jesus was my bae. Jesus was my bae before anyone else.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Get me shouting up in here. So we touched on briefly the pandemic, right? And it's such an important and impactful part of our current history. Justin, how did the pandemic affect you, not just from a business perspective, because we know you all about the ends. You making those ends meet, you about the business. We know, but I ain't getting involved in none of that nonsense. I need to know how to run my business. But on a personal level, how did the pandemic, affect you? We've heard stories about, our younger people are not being understood enough in terms of the emotional impact it's had on them and so forth. How did the
What was that statistic you remember about the percentage of
Oh yeah, it's 68 to 69
that were experiencing emotional
distress,
problems? Yeah.
right, due to the pandemic. That was
Yeah.
one of the things that our cultural strategist Kevin Walker talked about.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to be cognizant of that. Talk to me a little bit about personally how the pandemic affected you, or maybe it didn't.
It was a huge learning experience. For me, like I kind of knew what happened, like for the first recession back in 2008, and how there was a lot of, millionaires that were made at that time due to the economic downturn. And, it was bad at that time, but a lot of people, were able to like build empires at that time. And so for me, when the pandemic hit, everybody was locked in. I was working at my company, and I kind of saw it in a different light. Instead of a negative way, I was looking at it from more a positive way. Like, hey, this is a time for me to start my business. So it was an amazing opportunity because I was able to build my whole entire website. I was able to build this whole entire powerful line thing while everyone was locked up, and it just made me grind really hard for me.
Let's make sure we say that right. They were quarantined. They weren't locked up. That has a whole different connotation when it comes to us.
Yeah.
They were quarantined. They were sheltered in place.
Yeah, I mean, in Texas, it's
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, to your point, everybody was in their home, right? And this is when millionaires are created. So this is where you can build your family legacy. So I always try to look at negatives as, positives, and always try to look at it as an opportunity, right? So it was, COVID, it definitely made me work even harder.
So one of the things I'm understanding about Justin is no matter what question we ask him, it's going to come back to business,
Right.
right? How am I going to make some money?
He's a businessman.
He's a businessman.
I like that. I like that.
How about you, Bobby? How did things go for you? Was the pandemic interruptive for you, or like Justin, it opened up some opportunities?
It definitely interrupted kind of the statistic. I had never heard it, but I definitely saw it amongst myself and amongst my friends. Just the emotional like weight of being in a like every time you turn on TV, they're talking about death, like mass death.
Yeah.
Every time you get on Twitter, somebody either a police shot one of us, somebody's dying of coke, like it's just all in your face 24/7. And it was very difficult. And also just for me and kind of this generation, like technology for us is like our getaway. Like it's fun. We play video games, we go on Instagram, yada yada yada. Now we're stuck in the house. I'm working on my computer all the time. Gotta get on Zoom, do this, do that. And then very much for me, I just was tired of being on this computer, tired of that phone. And so I definitely saw where it disrupted kind of just what I, one, saw technology as, and two, disrupted, like my work and home space, because now I was finishing my master's degree. Now I'm at home. I don't have, like where I go to the library, do that. Everything is here. My relaxation place, my workstation, where I eat, everything I do is in this room. And so it was definitely very challenging to kind of navigate that time.
So, are you guys, do you see your generation being are you optimistic about the future? I know there's a lot of stuff going on in this country, politically, socially. The economy is, I guess, coming back. But for you guys, are you optimistic? Are your friends optimistic? How do you all feel with where you are and where this country is right now?
I think it's actually been like it's been an all-time high for like job positions available for people, and it's also been an all-time high for people leaving their jobs in history right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunities right now, especially now since the world is starting to pick up. Like I said, you got to kind of understand. It's about the decisions you make. It's about the choices and being mentally strong. And if you need help on that, right, it's something you should probably start working for. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity. I think there's a lot of I think people should be optimistic, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the news, and it's just always portraying negativity and whatnot. If you let that consume you, right, you can start believing it to be true. And I mean, there is stuff out there that is happening. I'm not saying you shouldn't be aware of it, but it's all about being strong. That's why my business is called Powerful Lion. We're honestly living in the jungle right now, right? The lion is the one who's typically the king of the jungle. So it's either you're gonna, sink or you're gonna swim. But anybody can go out there and make it happen. It all starts with your mind. So
we can add inspirational coach to Justin's bio. I'm gonna call him when I'm feeling down. I'm gonna say, young brother, forget that I'm 50 something.
So check it out. He can get you healthy.
He get me healthy in my body.
Then once you get healthy and looking good, and you going out, he can rent you a nice car.
Yeah, rent me a car. So
then he can give you a pep talk.
And a pep talk.
Bruh.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
And he can give you some consulting for your business.
Wrap it all up in a nice
car. There it is.
Wrap it all.
Then you call up Bobby.
Yeah.
She can just teach you some stuff.
Yep.
Whatever you want to know, she can teach you.
She can just teach it to you.
Just teach you. So we don't got to go no further, man.
I just plug into my friends' kids.
There you go. But they going to charge us, though.
We get a friends and family
discount.
That's
the only problem. They going to charge us.
Friends and family discount.
Because Justin ain't giving away nothing.
Justin's not giving away a dime. He's not. No. Matter of fact.
If you don't pay for something, it's hard for someone to value something that they don't pay for. I love to do stuff for free, but
you gonna pay. No, he's saying, Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Hubbard,
y'all gonna pay.
Y'all gonna pay just like everyone else. I love you, but break out that checkbook.
He's looking for a check from coming on the podcast today.
Yeah.
Did you tell him we're not paying him?
It's volunteer work right here.
We'll send you a card or something.
We'll send you a mug with the Bible Pilot.
We got some nice mugs.
Bobby, optimism. What do you think?
I will say I was optimistic, and then it totally went down when things got
Really?
back to normal. Yeah, when the protests were happening and kind of that break, that shift, you really, I don't know, I felt something in my spirit when we were out there that people were, I don't know, I guess finally about to like, go on this racial journey with us and we were maybe going to get somewhere.
Mm.
And then when school started to open back up and we kind of just started trucking back along, capitalism is going to keep moving whether you want it to or not. And it's just been made very apparent as we kind of return to normalcy with vaccines and all this jazz. And so I will say, I don't think I'm optimistic about the state of this country, even with like the change of presidency or anything like that. And also just from, because I'm a science teacher, so from like a climate change perspective, it's really scary outside.
Mm.
Like if y'all saw New York flooding, like that is
Yeah,
not supposed
yeah.
to be happening right now. Like these things that we are like we have pushed Mother Earth to the limit. And so just even thinking about that from that perspective and the racial perspective, yeah, I'm not optimistic.
Wow. Wow. But speaking of vaccines, have either one of you seen that "Vax That Thing Up" video?
I did with Juvenile and them, I did see that.
Justin, have you seen that?
What was the video?
Who did the original song back then?
Juvenile.
Juvenile.
It's Juvenile.
Remember that song that you know
Back that thing up.
back that thing up, back that thing up.
A lot of people stroll to it.
So there's a video now called "Vax That Thing Up," meaning everyone should get a vaccine, right? But it's still pretty risque, and I wouldn't want Bobby or any of my daughters performing in that video. Let's just put it that way. So I was just wanting to get your younger opinion about that. You think that's helpful? What did you say to me like the other day? Could something be both positive
Positive and negative?
at the same time?
Yeah. Because when I saw it, I'm like, okay, they trying to do something positive, but why do girls still being objectified? Popping their booty and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird, man. He's getting a lot of play behind
That's because
that.
we're old.
Is that it?
Yeah, we just old fogies.
Okay.
Justin's like,
Justin probably grew with me.
as long as it makes me some money, I don't care.
Right. Right.
Can I add that to my business? How do I monetize
How do I
that?
contact Juvenile?
Rent him a car,
Right.
or something.
Get him in shape.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
So, Bobby, you've seen it, right?
Yes, I have.
What do you think about it?
I think it's great. Meet people where they are. We know that song. We love that song. You see black folks that look like you, that you know and love, out here trying to get the vaccine. I'm pretty sure you'll turn up. I seen John Legend on a CVS commercial. Like that helps. Like some people, for a good number of people, that celebrity appeal, black celebrity appeal, will make them do something.
I'm struggling. I guess it just as a father of girls, I always say, would I want my daughter doing that? And I like you said, sometimes, Bobby, we get stuck and we don't move. This older generation, I think that's one of my points where I'm stuck and I haven't moved yet. Because it's catchy. Vax that thing up. It's catchy. I
It's a
get it.
jam. It's a jam.
Yeah, but
It's just a little conflicting for me.
conflicting for us.
You know,
Because if we sit there and watch it, then we just dirty old man.
we dirty. Why
We
you
dirty.
watching that?
Why you watching that?
Kathy walk in. Why you watching that?
Yeah, exactly. Jahari walk in, and I'm like, turn the channel.
Right.
I'm like, oh,
Right when the girl is like just popping. What you looking at that for?
You say popping.
Popping. Hey, that's what it's called. I don't know.
I don't know.
Clapping, popping.
Oh,
something.
God.
I don't know.
Oh,
Twerking.
or can
All that. That's all I can see when I watch it.
you dirty old man?
But it's just like right there.
We are talking about this with our friends' young children, Mike.
They grown though, man.
They grown now.
Educated. They got businesses. They grown.
They got multiple business.
We can talk to them about anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just wondering about. That's just us then.
Yeah, we're stuck. I'm stuck in that. I'm gonna admit to you, I need help.
Well, I don't have daughters, so
Yeah.
I can watch it. Vax that thing up. Vax that thing up.
Get him, Mike. Get that. He got that little dance, a little mic dance going on with the shoulders.
I can't think of the. You're real something. Vax that thing up.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I haven't watched it
You ain't watched
that intently.
I can pull it up for you after the show.
Yeah. So speaking of that, let me just throw out an arbitrary question: is there a new dance now for the younger generation? Right?
Do they even dance?
Do they?
though?
Well, yeah, it's true.
Do y'all even go to clubs?
Virtually,
Is that a thing now still?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people go to clubs. I mean, people, I guess we're like in a limbo. Like, some of us do dance, but for the most part, no. People just go to like pop bottles, get a section.
Popping bottles.
VIP.
Boy.
Yeah, that,
You know
if you
me.
going out, most people, you're in a section or with somebody who got a section.
Popping
Wow.
bottles.
A section.
Popping bottles in your section.
Dude, we barely had enough money to get into the
I
club.
know we can't afford to cover.
They renting out
They
section.
probably wouldn't even let us in at this point.
Nah,
If I,
bro.
if I went into a club with this white
We-
salt and pepper beard, they'd be like,
With these polo shirts.
yeah, they'd be like, no. We got an age maximum. It's not an age limit anymore.
They look at our shoes and be like, nah, man.
Look at those penny loafers with the
Right.
with the pennies in them.
Come on, man. Yeah.
So there's no real dance. Like we had the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
We
The
had
Running Man.
The Running Man. So there's
Yeah.
really not a new dance for younger folk now.
No, I mean, we get on the TikTok dances. That's about it.
That's it.
Mm,
Justin, you cut a rug.
you know, Justin can dance.
Justin, if it make me some money, I'll cut a rug.
He's probably like giving ballroom dance
I
lessons.
know, right? With
You know?
with his shirt half buttoned down.
Right.
Come to me. Let me show you how to samba.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I see a lot of people on Instagram dancing.
Look at him. His shirt half down now, right? Button that shirt up, young man. Trying to
Once
be up.
again, all you 50-something-year-old women out there,
I know.
don't be trying to
We trying.
email him.
We are not putting his contact information in the credit rolls.
No.
You get a bunch of emails from some cougars.
And you old men, don't be trying to tell Bobby you need some tutoring. She ain't gonna do it.
No.
She works with children,
She
okay?
works with children. Even though a lot of us act
Don't
like
even
children.
try it.
Yeah, he over here looking like Usher too,
I
with
know.
his sideburns.
I know. They
Usher.
so cool.
Usher.
They so cool, man.
Yeah, we ain't putting your contact in. Button that shirt up. Man.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's like, don't hate, bruh. Don't hate.
they're gonna have a bunch. We're gonna have a bunch of women going online to look
Looking
up,
for him, man.
looking up his pictures. His mama. I love her. I love your mom. But she posted a picture of you recently. I was like, what am I looking at? What am I looking at?
It's called marketing.
Harper, who this man?
It's marketing.
Who this man? That ain't the little Justin I knew.
Right.
Abs and tats and
Well, what you need to do is get with him, and you can be unbuttoning your shirt too.
yeah, I don't think anyone
He
wants.
can get you there,
I don't think
man.
anyone wants me to unbutton my
He
shirt.
can get you there, bro.
Yeah.
You can take one of those pictures like that, and then Bobby will give you some books to read.
Give me the science part of it.
Bruh, you had a total package,
Yeah, and go out there and help the environment.
brother, with your shirt off.
No, we're not doing that. We are not doing that.
See, we way off. We ain't bridging the gap no more.
We're not bridging the gap.
We don't put like some space.
The bridge is up. We fell down. We fell through.
We have broadened the gap. You know?
We have broadened the gap. It has been a pleasure having
Yeah,
the
man.
two of you on. It is such a delight to hear positive stuff come from our young folk. All the joking aside, we've known you guys since you were young, and to see the mature young adults that you have grown up into is not only indicative of just how good you are, but indicative of how well your parents have raised you. So we shout out to Justin's parents and Bobby. You guys are phenomenal.
Yeah. And all y'all out here watching, if y'all like what you heard today,
Yes.
please go out on YouTube and subscribe and drop your comments as well. We want to know what you think.
Yeah, just don't do it if you want us to send you information on Justin.
No, we're not doing that.
and
And Bobby, we're not
his
doing that.
pictures online. No.
Because normally we ask our guests to leave their, how can people follow them, but I don't know.
Well, we'll ask Bobby that.
Okay.
We're not going to ask
Well,
him.
no, we don't want these old dudes out here
You
trying
know,
to.
we ain't trying to pimp him out. Well, wait a minute. We might get some extra followers if we send me that picture with your shirt off, man. And we can
No,
post.
man,
No,
we ain't doing that.
we're
Bro.
not doing that. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to be like him and trying to monetize it.
No.
No. Okay.
That might be illegal.
It might be illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he a rules guy, man. We can't be out here
Okay.
breaking rules.
I told y'all I was no bad.
But don't
dad.
y'all be out here stalking them. None of y'all. Old folks. We trying to learn and understand,
Yes, we are.
not hook up. So don't do that. Don't do it.
Well, we can get our bottle and get in our section. Pop our bottle and go in our section.
Man, I can't afford no section, bro.
We can get some fake stuff. You know, some
I can barely get a bottle.
sparkling water, some sparkling cider.
Yeah. I have
So
a,
get the water.
right.
What do you say?
Get the water.
Get the water.
Water.
So, Bobby, how can people, we're going to do it. We're going to take a chance, Ken.
Okay.
How can people follow you, contact you, if you want to be contacted for
Okay,
your expertise?
Okay, well, my Instagram, which I like, it's a public page, is Bobby with 4 E's at the end. So they can follow me on IG, and that's about it. Everything else is for
Okay.
me and my family.
Bobby with 4 E's.
What was that?
Bobby with 4 E's.
4 E's.
But one wasn't enough. Because she's
4.
doing extra, extra, extra. That's what the E's are for. Extra,
Right.
extra, extra, extra.
Like 4-star.
4 stars.
There you go.
4 thumbs up.
Yes.
That's our new rating. E's.
4 E's.
4 E's, 2 E's, that's it.
We shooting for 4 E's.
We shooting for 4 E's.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin? How can people get in touch with you that are not trying to be a sugar mama?
Yeah, I mean, I guess add me as a friend on Facebook, or follow my business page on Facebook, Justin Powell. I mean, that's my name. Or you can add me on Instagram, JP Lions Den, JP Lion S Den, and message me on there, or just go to my website and go to powerfulionhq.com and set up an appointment with me. Either one. Just buy the program, and then I'll just show you directly.
He will get you
He
right.
pitching to the very end,
Mind,
bro.
body. He want that money.
Who's that say? Always be selling.
Always be selling.
Always be
ABC.
Well, I want to help people.
Well, you got to remember now, his mom is a phenomenal salesperson,
Right.
right?
And his dad is a great golfer.
His dad is a great golfer.
Tell him I still play, man. Tell him to holler at me.
And Bobby's mom gets some great cupcakes.
See, she do way more than cupcakes.
Woo! I'm shivering now just thinking about
See?
this. Anyway,
Okay, we got to get you some help, man.
thank you, young folk. We love you. We appreciate
Thank
you
y'all.
being on and joining AvoPod, bridging the gap between baby boomers and Gen Z. Once again, don't forget to like us on Facebook,
Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe.
subscribe,
Comment.
comment, positive comments.
We need feedback.
We need feedback. Thank you again, folks, for joining us. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank y'all.
Stop high-siding.